right, here we go. Lots to discuss. Hi there, Carson Meredith with you on this Saturday after Thanksgiving. It is 7:15. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good holiday weekend. And a lot of you, or at least quite a few of you, have seen a little bit of sleet and maybe a few snowflakes over the last couple of hours. We will, of course, spend a lot of time tonight talking about what we are seeing at the moment as this system rolls through. Of course, Wavy is getting all of those reports from MPing, which you can download right there on your phone. It's an app totally free. You can send in your reports, and we get those reports in our system, and our good friends at the National Weather Service do as well. And those really come in handy on a night like tonight where it's a tug of war between rain versus snow or maybe a little sleet too. So we'll obviously talk about tonight's setup. Not a big deal, but we'll still talk about it. And then, of course, we'll spend a lot of time on Monday night and Tuesday because I know that's what a lot of you really care about, right? Let's get you outside to radar tonight. And as expected, by and large, this is just a good soaking cold rain. It's a good night to just stay warm and cozy inside, binge watch your favorite show, watch your favorite weekend meteorologist talk about weather on Facebook or X or whatever. But you still see, especially across our far northern counties in Indiana, some blue showing up on radar. And that's where we've had, again, as expected, the biggest concentration of snowflakes over the last, I'd say, about 2 or 3 hours. Having said that, though, excuse me, earlier this evening, let's rewind it here. This was around, we'll say about 5:45. Notice these pockets of what looks like on radar heavier rain earlier this evening. There was quite a few reports of sleet pellets with this initial burst of precipitation as it pushed eastward. So most of it was rain, but we still had some sleet getting mixed in. I know our friends at the Weather Service reported at the Paducah office earlier this afternoon, it was sleeting and it was 47 degrees. How in the world is that happening? Well, remember, you've got warm air moving overhead, this colder air that's in place. And that colder air is also drier. And until the entire column of the atmosphere can saturate, you're going to have that chance for a few sleet pellets to fly, especially as you get closer to that cold ground. That allows some of those droplets to refreeze, or at least begin to refreeze as they get closer to the ground. So yes, we did have some sleet earlier this evening. We're still getting reports, as Wavy is doing a great job of keeping track of. Still getting some little ice pellets mixed in. Latest report from MPing down in Hardin County. And let's just show you the MPing map. There you go. I'll take it full screen real quick because I know all those little dots might be hard to see with me in the view. Excuse me. But you notice the green dots are plain rain. The purple dots are that sleet. And you notice that sleet was much more prevalent further west tonight. Not necessarily just along the Ohio River. We had quite a few sleet reports down towards Breckenridge and Grayson County. That report you see that Wavy has from Harrodsburg a few minutes ago. There was one down in Hardin County, of course. And there's been a few reports of flakes, as expected, along the Ohio River. Sounds like some of you guys have seen some snowflakes here in the metro, but most, if not all of those snowflakes have been up towards Bedford, Seymour, and North Vernon. But again, with these temperatures well above freezing, you're not going to have to worry about road issues. The roads are just going to stay wet. And quite honestly, I don't think we've had enough of that snow falling at a heavy enough rate at this point to see any kind of a coating up towards Bedford, Seymour, and North Vernon. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you're up there towards Seymour. But all in all, this should be a pretty minor issue, just kind of a damp, wet, cold night underway. And again, as we've talked about, most of this mix should be gone, I'd say no later than 10 o'clock tonight. By that point, that warmer air will continue to invade and really take over the entire column of the atmosphere. And that'll allow us to just see a cold, plain rain for most of this evening and overnight tonight. Excuse me. My apologies. Let's see. Lots of you watching, lots of reports. Blue's here. Noodlehead says she's got sleet in Perryville. Thank you for that report. Everybody's here. Salutations. Hey, hi, hello. Hope everybody's had a good Thanksgiving weekend. Mike says hello. He's leaving South Central Kentucky. Doesn't even know what the weather is here besides cold. Yeah, I mean, it can be tough to really look close at the different droplets in the sky and see if it's cold rain or sleet pellets. I know there were a couple of reports of sleet down towards Bowling Green earlier. Hello. Looking forward to Tuesday. Any updates? There are some, and I will share those with you shortly. So hang tight. We'll spend a lot of time on that system for sure. Let's see. Storm Chaser Jason, thank you for this report, Jason. This is exactly what I was looking for. Some, excuse me, some light snow on those grassy areas up towards Paoli. And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier today was if we're going to see any accumulations, it would be up your way, up towards Paoli, Bedford, Seymour, maybe Salem, maybe Scottsburg. And if anything, it would just be on the grass. And it sounds like that's exactly what is happening. So appreciate that. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. Just in the last few minutes, everything was fine, and now I can't talk. Forgive me. Let's see. Angela says hello. Made it out of Illinois before the snow got too bad for traveling. Yeah, there was a really big crash up on I-70 near Terre Haute earlier, like 50 cars. It was not good. So if you do have to travel north, maybe you're heading back up towards the Great Lakes as we wrap up this holiday weekend. They got a full-on winter storm up there for sure. It's really right along Interstate 70 up towards Chicago, up towards South Bend, and into basically all of Michigan and Wisconsin. Pretty good thumping of snow. Most spots up there are going to pick up around 6 to 10 inches of snow, depending on where you're at. And you notice all the winter weather alerts are out of our area. Winter storm warning in pink covers all of Iowa, basically, most of Wisconsin, most of Michigan, all the way down towards Indianapolis. Again, right there along I-70. There are no counties in wave country, by the way, that are under any kind of winter weather alerts. You notice as we zoom in that up towards Columbus, Indiana, they have a winter weather advisory in place, but that's where that advisory stops. There are no alerts to speak of here at home. So all in all, a minor issue. Like I said, it's just going to be kind of a yucky Saturday night. A cold one, too. Live look outside at downtown from our Jeffersonville camera. Current temperature is 42 degrees. So, yes, we've had some sleet pellets mix in this evening, even with those temperatures way above freezing. But, again, aside from our friends up towards Paoli and Bedford and Seymour, we should not see any accumulations at all with this because we're way above freezing. And the roads will just stay wet as well. So that's where we are at this point. Temperature-wise, you can see where we're seeing that light grassy accumulation. Paoli, Bedford, Seymour, all at 32. So that gives you just a little bit of a window of opportunity for a little coating up that way. But again, we still have this warmer air getting pumped in from the south and west. And we will until that cold front moves in very early tomorrow morning. So if you're down towards E-Town, Litchfield, Bardstown, you may have had a couple of sleet pellets earlier. You may still have some this evening. Not going to be an issue because we're in the 40s. Same story goes for the metro. And I would expect those 32s up near Bedford and Seymour to climb to maybe around 34 or 35 once the precipitation rates start to fade. A lot of times you get dynamic cooling when the rain or the sleet or snow or whatever is coming down heavily. It can pull those temperatures down with it. And then once the rates lighten up, those temperatures go back up a couple degrees. So I would expect most, if not all of us, to remain at or just on either side of the freezing mark tonight. We'll go right at freezing in Louisville at 32. See that in-ping report from Bloomington. Snow accumulating on the grass just a bit, as expected. So we're right on track with this forecast. So an early mix still with us for a few more hours until about, I'd say, 10 o'clock, and then we'll just go to an all-rain setup for the rest of the night. That 32-degree low temperature really isn't necessarily tonight while you're sleeping. It's around 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Once the cold front shifts eastward, we'll bottom out those temperatures around 32 here in the city. A lot of you around 30 or 31. And we're not really going to warm up much into the day on Sunday. In fact, tomorrow looks just pretty raw, to be honest with you, to be brutally honest. Futurecast is doing a really, really nice job tonight. This is the HER model, high resolution rapid refresh model. It's done very, very well today and tonight. So here's 8 o'clock here at the top of the hour in about 35 minutes. Still tracking that chance for a mix in our far northern counties, Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings, maybe still in Orange, Washington, Scott counties, Jefferson County, Indiana, not Kentucky. That's where the best chance for that mix will continue for a couple more hours. So we'll still have that possibility for at least a grassy accumulation still up in our far northern counties. Nothing more. The roads will stay wet. And then by the time we're on Wave News at 11 tonight, I'll be tracking just a cold rain. But you notice that rain coverage does taper off as the night goes on. So a lot of us will just see these on again, off again plain rain showers overnight tonight. It's not going to be a total soaking, drenching kind of rain. Quite honestly, it might be more of that drizzly stuff. 4 o'clock Sunday morning, you see this band of showers rolling through. Yes, this is the cold front that'll be moving through while you're still sleeping early tomorrow morning. And as that cold front sweeps through, our temperatures will bottom out, as we mentioned, near or just below freezing. That won't be until 8 or 9 in the morning. But as that colder air keeps getting pumped in from the west, that means we're not really going to warm things up much tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few flurries flying tomorrow, especially early as that front's moving through. But it should not be enough to cause any trouble whatsoever. More than anything else, it's just going to be cloudy, cold, and blustery on Sunday. Temperatures not recovering much, maybe around 35 in the afternoon. But when you factor in those wind gusts out of the west around 25 to 30 miles per hour, it's going to feel more like the 20s all day. Just not the best day to be outside, but it is a great day tomorrow to watch some football. I love these November Sundays or December Sundays where you have an excuse to sit around and just cozy up and watch football all day. So that'll be the case tomorrow for sure, if that's what you're into. A few more comments, and then we'll dive into Monday night and Tuesday. I know that's why a lot of you are here. Melanie says, snow up in Jennings County. Appreciate the report. Feel like the handoff has happened cold-wise. Yeah, as the next 2 or 3 hours, we're going to see any kind of that mix still around move out as that warmer air keeps getting pumped in. Tina's got sleet where she's at in Spencer County. Same story for David down in Sonora. Vicky's got snow in North Vernon. Trista says some roads are covered up in Seymour. Okay. That's a little surprising, to be honest with you, but those temperatures are right at freezing. So we'll keep an eye on that as the evening goes on. Appreciate that report, Trista. Got sleet in Bradfordsville. Thank you for that, Mercedes. Let's see. Snowing and sticking in Seymour, says Tiffany. Let's see. A few more comments, and then we'll talk about Monday and Tuesday. Aaron says the roads are slushy covered in Seymour. That makes sense. We had our snowfall accumulation graphic basically up your way, Aaron, up towards Seymour, to where there might be a little bit of a slushy coating up there. In fact, we'll show you the map to bear the proof. And you notice we've been focused on you guys up towards Seymour and Paoli and Salem for maybe a little coating up to an inch. that would be quite slushy. So do be careful if you're up that way. As long as you're seeing those temperatures at 32 or lower, there could always be a few slick spots that may develop even in the slush. But again, I do expect those temperatures to at least inch just back up above freezing once those rain and snowfall rates start to fade. So that's where we are up there. Everything sounds like it's on track, which is good. Tanya, Louisville getting any snow? Not really, Tanya. We've had a couple reports of flakes flying around here in the city. That's really all we're going to get. The roads will stay wet. We're way above freezing here in Louisville. Not going to cause a big issue at all. All right. See a lot of you guys now talking about how there was some flakes still flying around here in the metro. So makes sense. Makes sense. We're all on the right track. Okay. Now the reason why a lot of you are here. Monday night and Tuesday. Yes, it is a weather alert day. Because let me put it this way. This is not going to be I want to be careful how I say this. This is not going to be a huge snowstorm. Okay? I do believe, however, that there will be areas that see accumulations out of this Monday night and Tuesday. Not a huge accumulation, but still enough to cause some travel issues, I believe, Monday night and especially early on Tuesday. Here's the big picture view. Monday night and Tuesday, our wave weather alert days in place. During that time, there will be a wintry mix in wave country. We're talking plain cold rain, like a lot of us have tonight. We're talking about snow, like those of you up in Indiana are seeing right now, and even the potential for some ice, be it sleet, be it freezing rain, be it both. Everything's on the table at this stage of the game. Accumulations are also on the table, and we're more concerned about Tuesday morning's rush hour for travel impacts because based on what I've been looking at today, there's pretty good consensus that the best precipitation chances, whatever it is, rain, snow, or a mix, will be early Tuesday morning, the pre-dawn hours, and right up until rush hour. But I want to emphasize, guys, and I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer because I'm not, but there are potential fail scenarios here at play. We'll try to explain them. What you're going to be looking at here is the GFS model, not the Euro, the GFS. This is 7 o'clock Monday night. And as always, it seems like with these Southern track systems, the rain-snow line, you can already tell, is going to go right through our area. The million-dollar question is where? The GFS has been very consistent for a few days now to put that rain-snow battle line right along the Ohio River. So that would mean if you're in southern Indiana, you're going to have a better chance for mostly snow. While if you live down towards Campbellsville, Greensburg, Columbia, Mumfordville, Litchfield, Hodgenville, you guys would likely just see more of a cold rain in this scenario. And then that rain-snow battle line would be where you potentially get that freezing rain or sleet mix. And that would set up, at least according to the GFS, closer to Louisville. However, the trend today on both the GFS and the European model, the two main deterministic models that we use, has been to move that rain-snow line further south and east. Maybe as far as southeast as the Tennessee line. If that were to be the case, you're talking at a nice little thumping of snow across the board, Monday night to Tuesday morning, with perhaps a little bit of a mix down towards Adair County, Green Taylor, Hart counties. But that has been going back and forth with every single model run for several days now. So I'm not ready to set that in stone just yet. I still believe that rain-snow mix line is going to end up somewhere in our 34 counties. likely somewhere in Kentucky. We still have to nail down exactly which counties will have that rain snow battle. Okay. Now, in a colder scenario, you wouldn't have as much moisture to work with. That's one of the fail concerns that we have here. In a colder scenario, you're not going to have as much moisture to work with, which means you could have a sharp cutoff in the snowfall totals on the northern side. So if indeed it is the case that the rain snow line is down here closer to the Tennessee border, yeah, that means a lot of our counties will get a little accumulation, but there will be a very sharp cutoff between those of you that get a couple of inches of snow and those of you that get nothing. So that's kind of the fail scenario with a colder setup, is you may not have enough moisture for snow everywhere. On the flip side, if you have a warmer setup, like what the GFS has been pinpointing for a couple of days now, you're going to obviously have some folks that see just rain, and that's it. And you also have a greater concern for a mix of sleet or freezing rain that can also cut down on those snowfall totals. So there's a lot of puzzle pieces to still figure out here. The warmer setup, yes, you got more moisture to work with, but that means you may have more of a mix instead of just snow. A colder setup means, yeah, you're going to have more snow than anything, but there may not be enough moisture. It's kind of a seesaw with how this is going to play out Monday night into Tuesday. Now, as we get into Tuesday morning, this again, the GFS, this is one single model. This is not our forecast. This is just giving you an idea of where we're at right now. But the GFS does have most of us ending in a period of lighter snow Tuesday morning. The European does as well. That would obviously cause travel issues for the morning commute. I guarantee you, when I look at the comments, folks are going to start asking about school on Tuesday. I don't really comment on schools because I don't make those calls. Each individual district does. All I can tell you is that if we do see this end as snow Tuesday morning, there will be road issues. That I can tell you for certainty. You see our friends up in, I think, the Wilmington, Ohio Weather Service office sending an update about the snow chance this evening. That's what Wavy's showing right there. So the big question with this system is going to be two questions. How cold will it be? And how much moisture do we have? If we stay cold throughout the whole thing, most of us are going to get a couple inches of snow. I'm not ready to give you exact accumulation forecasts yet, but I think a couple inches could certainly be on the table. If it's warmer, then we have to figure out who's going to see more of that wintry mix and who's going to see a cold rain to start off before it ends as all snow. And that obviously would impact our snowfall forecast. All right. So that's where we are at this stage of the game. You notice this system's out of here pretty quickly. By lunchtime Tuesday, I think we're pretty much done. Maybe a few flurries. But it'll still be cold, so there could still be some road issues into Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. But here's the general thinking at this point. I do not have a specific snowfall forecast yet. I'll hopefully have one out for you tomorrow. But in general, the main precipitation type for southern Indiana, for Hardinsburg, Brandenburg, the Louisville Metro, LaGrange, Eminence, Shelbyville, Carrollton, Bedford, Kentucky, Bedford, Indiana too, Shelbyville, Shepherdsville, Taylorsville. Right now, the main precipitation type looks to be snow. That's not to say that we won't have any sleet or freezing rain mixing in. It's just saying that we'll mainly see snow in that particular area. Further to the south, right along the parkways, Litchfield, E-Town, Bardstown, Hodgenville, Springfield, Lebanon, primarily a mix of freezing rain and sleet. And again, in this scenario, as that cold air moves in, we'll see that mix transition to snow briefly early Tuesday morning. So if you're down that way towards E-Town, Bardstown, Litchfield, you're still likely going to see some snow. You're just going to see more of a mix at this stage of the game. And finally, as we go further south, down towards Campbellsville, Greensburg, and Columbia, this is, for now, likely going to start as a cold rain with maybe a little bit of a mix or light snow at the tail end of it Tuesday morning. All right. So that's the general consensus at this point. Again, I'm trying to go middle of the road here. I don't want to get you guys all hyped up and say this is going to be all snow just yet, because I've seen it so many times in the Ohio Valley where that rain snow line looks as though it's going to stay to our south and give us a nice snowstorm. And then at the end of the day, the warmer air wins out. We start off with a mix. We start off with cold rain, and we don't get a ton of snow at the end of it. So I want to be very cautious with our precipitation types at this point. Hopefully that makes sense. Type 4 in the comments if all that made sense. And if it didn't, call me out on it and feel free to ask questions. That's why I'm here. That's kind of where we stand at this point. This time tomorrow night, I'm very hopeful I can give you more specific accumulation amounts. But I want to wait to get more high resolution data, more specific data that I can chew on tonight and tomorrow. All right, here comes the 10-day. And there you go. Cold. That's a constant. That is a constant over the next 10 days. It's going to be cold. A lot of you will see those highs in the 30s every single day over the next 10. There might be a couple of days towards the end where Louisville can touch 40 again. But by and large, 30s. We've got tonight. That mix should change over shortly in a couple of hours. Then we got Monday night and Tuesday. Wait and see where that rain snow battle line is. Wednesday and Thursday look quiet. Next weekend, still a bit up in the air. It's more of a Clipper-like setup, to be honest with you, as we get towards next weekend. Just these little disturbances kind of scooting through. And we just need to figure out what kind of cold air we have to work with next weekend. I think Friday we'll have a little disturbance scoot through. There's hints that another one could move through next Sunday. Neither of those look to be major problems for now. That can obviously still change. All right. Let me see where I left off in the comments, and we'll just knock them out one by one. Let's see. Ronnie's got snow on the ground in Crawford County near Kirby. Appreciate that report. Let's see. Is that Christy? Yeah. My brother flies out of Chicago, or flies to Chicago at 6 a.m. in the morning. Do I need to be concerned? By that point, I believe most of the snow will be moving out of Chicago. There could still be some lighter snow still around. So it'll kind of be a game time decision. It really comes down to how I would assume they're flying into O'Hare. I would like to think they'll be able to take care of the tarmacs to keep them in flying condition safely. I would not rule out delays for that 6 a.m. flight to Chicago, but I'm optimistic it wouldn't get canceled at this point. Hopefully that makes sense for you, Christy. Appreciate you tuning in. Ben saying roads are getting a little covered up in Bedford. Appreciate that report. Ricky, Ricky, no school on Tuesday again. I don't comment on what schools are going to do because that's not my decision. What I can tell you is, regardless of how long it takes for you guys to go from a wintry mix to snow or rain to a wintry mix, if we have any kind of winter weather, there will be some road issues Tuesday morning. So that's all I really want to say when it comes to any school potential. Chris, they're going to be snow in Vine Grove. Nothing more than maybe a few flakes or sleet pellets over the next couple of hours for tonight. Monday night and Tuesday has a much better chance for snow, as we talked about a few minutes ago. Blue doesn't want it to be too big of a snow because they want to win the snow guess contest. There's a chance this could end the snow guess contest, guys. Remember, that is 1 inch of snow at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. It's possible. It's possible we could have that Monday night and Tuesday. So some of you may be watching the system closely to see if you won that contest, right? Cameron, yes, thank you. We don't determine schools. We don't. I get it. Everybody gets excited about snow. I get it. I was that exact same way when I was a kid. I'd watch Belsky. I'd watch Brian. I'd watch Kevin. Seeing we're gonna have school tomorrow. But remember, we don't make those calls. Debbie's got a good question. Which model is better? Well, it's a loaded question, Debbie, but it's a very valid one. So when you're looking at the next day and a half, so like if you're looking at tonight and tomorrow, you want to use these more high resolution models. And that's where the HRR comes in, the HRRR model that you see here. It has a lot better resolution data, which means it doesn't go out as far in time. But the time that it does look at, it does a pretty good job a lot of times. It's done very well tonight. So when you're looking at the short term, the next day and a half, I like the HRR personally. I like the HRRR. Long term, the GFS and Euro are the primary ones we go to for just day-to-day forecasting. They have their pros and cons, but they're both pretty useful. When you're looking beyond 2 or 3 days, when you're looking up next week or next 10 days, things like that. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Michael, always a wise guy in here. Feel like he's saying a whole lot of nothing we don't already know. Yeah. Look, I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to call it like it is. We're still trying to figure it out. All right. There's going to be winter weather. Is it going to be all snow? Is it going to be a mix? Still trying to nail that down. If you think you can do better, go for it. But that's my thoughts at this point. So there you go. But there's almost 600 people watching our stream tonight. So I think a lot of people like the information I'm providing. But there's that. Kaylee, hello. Where are you from? I'm from right here in Louisville, born and raised here. Let's see. ZK, hello. Tuesday, sleet and rain in southern Indiana. I think for southern Indiana, Tuesday is going to be more of a snow. I think that's going to be the main precip type up in Indiana. Monday night and Tuesday is snow. That's not to say you can't have a few ice pellets mix in. It'll primarily be snow, though. Let's see. At least we're tracking a snow event with some decent snow in November. It's pretty early. It is. It's much earlier than last year. You know, this night a year ago, we had a little snow move through the Saturday night of Thanksgiving weekend. But other than that, we didn't have much of anything until January. So we are a little earlier this year, no doubt. Let's see. Cameron, can it be safe to say, even though you don't know just yet, if this plays out as a snowmaker, could someone see more than 3 to 4 inches of snow out of this, hypothetically? What keeps me from saying that, Cameron, is the moisture, the amount of moisture in the air. There's not a ton of it. And if it trends colder, a colder idea where more of us see mostly snow versus a mix, then your accumulations might get cut down just a little bit. I do not believe this is going to be a snowstorm. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Is it going to be an advisory level snow where it's like a couple inches of snow that causes issues on the roads, I do think that's on the table, yes. But beyond 3 to 4 inches, I'm not totally sold just yet. Um, so there you go. Everybody's in good shape. Adam, 4. So it all made sense. Appreciate the kind words, Adam. It is a mess. That is for sure. It always is. It always is when you have these rain snow battle lines, which happens a lot here in wave country, no doubt. Let's see. Sean just told Cameron, I bet Brian gave me a heads up to watch out for your trick questions. No, he didn't give me a heads up. I like all the questions, guys. That's why I'm here. But Cameron's always curious, and I appreciate it. All you guys are curious. That's why I enjoy doing this. Hello, Matt. Do we get below freezing tonight? We will likely stay above freezing until about, I'd say, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's why most of the roads will be okay, other than up towards Bedford and Seymour. So I don't really see us getting near the freezing mark until just after sunrise in the morning. So the roads tonight, by and large, should just stay wet. Let's see. When's the next stream? It'll be around this time tomorrow night, around 7. I always try to be on around 7:15, Saturday and Sunday nights. Keep it consistent for you guys. Appreciate the kind words, Cameron. Thank you. Thank you. Cassie has a good question for Monday start time with this mess, Monday night. It's likely going to be after sunset. Again, that's really all I can tell you at this point. I'll have more specifics tomorrow night. So come back here on our live stream tomorrow night, and I'll have quite a bit more specifics for you. But it looks like after sunset at this point. A lot of the daytime hours on Monday will be dry. It'll be chilly, but it'll be dry. Later in the night is when the precip chances start to climb. I don't want to get myself in a corner with rain and snow chances. Just say precipitation chances will be there. All right. 10-day, one more time. You can see Santa flying over Louisville, 26 days away. And yeah, it's busy. It is busy, no doubt. We've got tonight, obviously. We've got Monday night and Tuesday. And next weekend's a little more up in the air. But there might be some little mischief that sneaks up by next weekend. We'll watch it. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. It's a tricky setup. Just asking you for patience. Again, I'm fairly confident this time tomorrow night I'll be able to give you an actual map of general accumulations we could be looking at here for Monday night and Tuesday. Until then, be careful if you're out and about tonight. For a lot of you, the roads will just be wet. But again, if you're up towards Seymour, Bedford, Paoli, sounds like some roads are getting a little slushy. So please be careful if you're up that way. And enjoy your Saturday evening. I will be on the Old School TV for Wave News at 11 tonight and tomorrow morning on Sunrise. And, of course, we'll be chatting it up again right here on all the social media platforms, all the streaming platforms, talking about that snow for Monday night and Tuesday. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I will catch you later. Take care.